Okay, guys, so we are already late. 15 minutes has already passed. Let's just start with the session. So, are you guys excited for the session, guys? Please be active during the session so it get more and more interactive. So, our mentor is Mr. Akash Maurya. He is having several years of experience in data science, and today he's going to give a glimpse of multiple linear regression in data science, right? So he is going to give you brief about it. It would be fun. So just pay attention to whatever he has to say. You can ask questions in the end if you have any question regarding the same or anything else. So let's just get started with our webinar and not make you wait more to learn your favorite data science topic, right? Over to you, Akash.
Hey, thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. So I can see plenty of people joining this webinar. Thank you so much, guys, for joining this and showing interest in those. So basically, this is the continuation of the previous one that we had started. So particularly in this one, we are going to mainly look into the topics of multiple linear regression. In the previous session, we had seen in the previous webinar, we had seen the linear regression. In this session, in this webinar particularly, we are going to look into the multiple linear regression, again, which is a type of linear regression. That's what we are going to see in this one. So we'll also see how linear regression progresses to the multiple linear regression and what are the potential use cases of that and what are the best practices that you can apply on that. So first, again, like the previous one, we are going to look into the theory, the maths behind that, and then we will look into the coding implementation of these as well, right? So with that note, let me just start sharing my screen. And let's understand the maths and the theory behind that, and then we'll understand the the code behind that as well. Let me start sharing my screen now. All right, I hope you guys can see the screen. Let's begin with this. So basically, let me know if you have any problem with this, okay? All right, so as I said, we are going to talk about multiple linear regression in this session particularly. In a multiple linear regression, we have to have multiple features. We have multiple features on x-axis, and we have to, arrange it to the y-axis. So for example, again, I'm going to, build the foundation of first linear regression, what exactly is linear regression, and then I will actually, tell you about that. So let's say, again, in a linear regression, what we try to do, we try to build a linear regression, I mean, a linear relationship with the input features and the output features. That means if you have one features in x-axis, one features on the y-axis, we draw it. If you have a linear relationship, so we should be able to, with the help of linear regression, we should be able to actually, create a line that follows the data, right? We should be able to create a line that follows the data. So when you are, when you are able to create a line that follows the data, just 1 second, you should be able to actually predict the outcomes based on the given input, right? You should be able to predict the output based on the given input. So this is this is the main thing behind it. Just a second. All right, and I guess you can go on mute or and turn off your cameras and everything. If you have any question, then you can ask me. Right. Coming to the linear regression first. So its potential use cases are, let's say you have a particular line trained relationship with an input and output. For example, if you have, let's say, salary to predict of someone based on the given let's say experience, right? If you have a given experience and you have to predict salary, so this is nothing but a one-to-one relationship. And in this case here, you can simply let's say if I simply draw it on the x-axis, we have experience, on the y-axis we have salary, right? And if I simply draw, let's say if I have a bunch of data sets and if I have to draw a line over here, let's say these are nothing but our data points, right? So let's say based on this, if I have to find a linear relationship in here, right? So how can I do that? So I have to simply create a line that follow the trend of the data. Now in the previous session, we had seen that how can I actually create a line that follow the linear trend of the data. So what we do, we have to create a line. Let's say we have to create a best line that goes through most of the data. So we also had understood what is the the function of loss. How can we actually create a function that has loss function in it? So for example, all right. So for example, if I have to create a function that tell me the loss is nothing but how the points are deviating from each other. So we had a different types of loss. We had a absolute error. Let's say the equation of a line y has equals to w1 x plus w0. This was a linear regression. And in case of absolute error, and let's say y is the actual value, right? And this is the predicted value, y hat. So the difference between the actual and the predicted value, we call it the error. And in case of absolute error, we are going to take a mode of it, basically the positive value of it. Okay. So what you can do is you can simply, let's say if I have to y minus y hat or y hat minus y, anything, just put it. So that will be your absolute error. Now, in case of absolute error, we have this, and if you have to find out a different types of error in here, right? So we also have to mitigate the positive and negative formula. We have also the squared error, or we can also take a mean of this whole error. For example, for 1 point, we have this error for y1. And if we have to, calculate for all the errors, we can actually have summation from I is equals to 0 to n. And if we have to take the error per point, right? If we have to take the error per point, so we can also have, the summation of it, right? So let's say what we can do in here is basically, let's say the squared error, or you can say mean absolute error. Mean absolute error is nothing but it's a simple, if you just have to take a mean of it and put the absolute error formula in this one, and that's it. This becomes your mean absolute error. So we just got a cumulative error over here. And then if you have to calculate the mean absolute error, you can take a mean of the whole formula over here. Okay. And again, guys, if you have any question moving forward, you can simply ask me, right? Do not hesitate asking the questions, and do not hesitate, unmuting yourself. If you have any question, then I will definitely say go and ask it. Okay. Okay. Coming forward. Okay. So next thing that we are going to look into this is basically, this is linear regression. We have also different kinds of formula that we had discussed in the next session. So once again, guys, this is just a, one particular topic that we are discussing here. If you have to go to the whole topic, right, then we are actually launching a particular, the master class in collaboration with IIT Roorkee. I have IIT Roorkee, where we will be actually going through from the very basics. We'll be starting from, Python programming language, from the very basics. I'll teach you Python programming language. I'll teach you the SQL. I'll teach you the, the dashboarding, Power BI. I'll teach you every possible things, the smallest part of the math before starting to the machine learning. smallest part of the maths, statistics for the data science. And then once you are, good to understand and grasp the topics, then I will move forward to the data science topics and complex machine learning coding as well. So that whatever you are learning here, if you're not grasping it, that means the fundamentals are weak. And in the masterclass, we'll be having everything from scratch, especially designed for you guys, so that you can actually learn from scratch and you have no doubts of, misunderstanding. Right. So this is what I will, we have tried. So if you have any, doubts regarding that, so you can meet at the end, to Ruchir. Ruchir will explain you about the data science program at the end. All right. And again, this session is not going to be too much, I would say, long. This is going to be very, very short. And I will keep it very simple because this is a very small topic that we are going to cover today. So in this one again, so mean absolute error, if you've got the mean absolute error, there are some other topics as well. And with the help of gradient descent, we actually try to find the optimum line. So what we do, we try to randomly predict the values for W0 and W1. Once we got a line, we'll calculate the loss. Once we have got the loss, we'll calculate delta W. Delta W is nothing but del of loss divided by del of W. The currently, I mean, if it is for W1 or W2, you can simply go about that, right? Right. So this is basically, this is how you have to, calculate it. And this is how you calculate and optimize the line. So once you have got a line, so this line will eventually iteration wise, it will simply go and lie on the data, the actual data that we have. This particular thing I had shown you in the last session. Maybe I'll show you in this session as well. Right. And then moving forward, we have a multiple linear regression. For example, remember in this example, I just took an example of a salary and experience. Let's say we have experience as an input variable, right? And we have salary as an output variable. We have values here, but if I ask you, is it just the experience by which we can determine the salary? The answer will be absolutely no. We cannot define, or we cannot tell that, we cannot tell that what is the basically, by just looking in someone's experience, we cannot tell what could be their salary. Right? This is one of the feature, but it's not the only feature, right? So if I add more features into this, let's say if I add, for example, some of the other features, let's say education level as well, right? If I add some of the other feature, let's say, other than education, let's say, experience we have education, we have age as well. Let's say if I add one more feature, which is age, right? We have education, we have experience, we have age. So everything combinatively, we can also have, the let's say the CGPA in the education. Let's say if you're a graduate, then what's the CGPA or what's the percentage mark? I mean, as much data as you can collate, that is much, much better. And then that will help you to find someone's salary, right? Now, if you combine this feature versus if you had only one feature experience, this is much more accurate model. Now, how do I have to create a model? Now, if I have to plot it, I do not have any ways to plot this, 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions of data. So that's why what I'm going to try to do is, I'm not going to simply drop it. I'll tell you how can you build this equation. So we know for one particular feature, we had one equation. For one feature, what equation we had? Y is equals to y hat is equals to W1x plus W0. Now, this is one feature that we had. Now, if I have multiple features, let's say I have X1, X2, X3. This time X1 is nothing but experience. This is education. This is age, right? Let's say these are the different features that we have now. If I have to create a linear regression formula, when I say linear regression, linear means what? Linear means the equation is linear, right? Equation is linear means to say the line that I'm going to draw or the plane that is going to be linear. Either it is going to line or it is going to be a plane, right? So what it will be? The maximum power of x. Maximum power of x is going to be how much? 1. There cannot be more power of that. Otherwise, that will be quadratic or higher power. We call it polynomial regression. So which is nothing but the topic for the next session actually. All right. So that is the topic for the next session. What is the polynomial regression? In this session, we are actually going to talk about the we are going to talk about the linear regression particularly. Just 1 second, guys.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so maximum power. So to make the equation linear, since this is a linear regression, so again, this is multiple linear regression, means we have a multiple features to work with, right? That's why it is a multiple linear regression, but it's in nature, it is a linear regression itself. It is linear itself, right? So let's say if I have to simply go and find out some of the other features and how can we collide with that? So we can simply add the feature with the corresponding weight, right? So the equation is going to be like this. Y is hat is equals to instead of one feature, there are going to be multiple features in this case. So y hat is equals to w1 x1 plus w2 x2 plus w3 x3 plus w0, or we can put w0 here as well, right? So now this equation we can simply understand from here, since we had only one variable, right? We have only one x and one w corresponding to that. And here we had multiple variables. So we have multiple w's for that. And remember, there is no power of x which is higher than this. I will come to your oral technical questions at the end, right? Just let me just finish. So this is a simple math behind the multiple linear regression, right? This is the very simple math behind understanding the multiple linear regression. Now you have to simply, again, there we had only one variable, right? Again, we can simply apply the gradientation formula, right? We can apply the gradientation formula and we can simply calculate the values of W1, W2, W3. In this case, the whole vector of from W0 to W1, W0 to W0, W1, W3, and W4, right? Sorry, W2 and W3. These the whole vector we can actually, calculate with each other, right? Calculate with the help of gradientation. And once we have got this, we can put this formula, we can put the values of experience, we can put the values of age, we can put the values of, but we had age, experience, and the education, and then we can simply predict the someone's salary. Now this salary that I'm going to predict will be much higher and better than the previous ones, right? Now this is the theory behind it, and if you have any question regarding this, I'll help you that. Otherwise, I'll just start with the coding implementation of the same. So there is one question, sir, what is the difference between data science and data analytics? So basically, data science involves machine learning practices in there. If you just add machine learning in data analytics, so that becomes data science, right? If you are using statistics and the old school the maths and statistics for analysis of the data, then that is your data analysis. But if you add descriptive, or I would say predictive analysis with the help of machine learning and all, and that becomes machine learning and deep learning, so that becomes your I would say data science, right? So if you add analytics, it's like analytics plus machine learning is equals to data science. All right. So I hope there is no question till here. So I mean, those guys who have not seen our previous session, so this is a drawback. Again, if you have to understand everything very carefully, then again you can join our master class at the end. Ruchir will tell you about that. Let me just share my whole screen. There I will show you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch my Jupyter. So I have to, so in our master class, I will tell you how can you download and install the softwares and then begin with the coding and all, everything from scratch, even from downloading and installing the application, what application you need to install for Windows, for Mac systems, everything from scratch will tell you, right? So now I'm going to open the terminal. This is my Mac system, so I'm going to open terminal. If you have any other system, you can open the corresponding, that particular system. I'm going to open a new terminal, new window, and here I'm going to type Jupyter Notebook. Since I have installed Jupyter Notebook, I will be able to open the Jupyter Notebook directly from here. If you have not installed it, then you'll have to install it first, right? So I'll go to download. So I have already pre-written code for this. I'm going to show you that. We have a continuous classes going on, so we have codes for that. So in the latest September batch, I'll just go to linear regression first to show you how does exactly work. So if you see, this is the code for that. I mean, and in our live classes, what we do, we actually code with you on the screen itself, right? On our live classes, I will code in front of you, with the screen itself, right? With this shared screen. So here we have a data. Simply, this is a linear regression. We have only one feature, one output. So you can say 1x, 1y, right? And here we have the data. So this is the data. Now we have to go with that. So randomly, I'm predicting with the help of, you can see random.rand. I'm actually predicting the two values for W0 and W1. And then the line got with that value is this. And we can simply set our eta and everything. And when we learn the machine learning, now you can see this is the final model. Now this is the final fitted line, the green line, which is going through the data. The red line is the initial line where we begin with, and this is the original data that we have. The blue line is the original data that we have, right? So this is a simple linear regression. With the help of gradient addition, we can optimize it, creating a simple line. Linear regression is nothing but simply creating a line. It's as simple as that. If you have multiple dimensions, then you will be multiple weights, W1 and W1x plus W2x2 plus W3x3 and so on. If you have just only one feature, so you will see a particular line. It's as simple as that. Now, if you have multiple features to begin with, right? So again, you can actually add more W's into this, more X and Y's into this, right? But again, we will not be able to draw that here, right? That's the one thing. The other thing is here, which is basically you can use this, Skillvertex library. Getting it? So you can use the Skillvertex library for that. So I'm just going to tell you that here. So I'm just going to tell you multiple linear regression. Polynomial. Here linear regression with module. This is basically here we are using the linear regression. So if you see, here we have the data. Here we have the data of, car fuel consumption, right? So let me just go through the data first. So this is the data about, the model year of the car, the maker of the car, the vehicle class, SUV, compact SUV, hatchback, sedan, and all that. What is the engine size? How many cylinders? Transmission, fuel type, and the mileage in the city and the highway. Right? This is the data that we have. Now, we are simply, just doing the pre-processing and also everything, right? You see here the pre-processing and analysis that we are doing here on the top. Here you can see the correlation analysis that we are doing. We are not doing a lot of analysis, but here, right? The pre-processing we are doing here, right? So here you can see, these are all the plots. And now here, if you see, I'm actually using multiple linear regression. I'm using multiple features here. So if you see my X has multiple features, this is X, right? Here we have, engine size, fuel consumption on highway and city, and the combined fuel consumption, right? And then we have this Y here. This is one particular value. I would suggest that you guys can normalize this one as well, but I have not normalized it over here, right? And then we are actually using the test and split. This is one of the strategy we use in machine learning. Again, there might be so many things, new to you guys, because we have not gone, we have not come from that particular path that I have time to explain you each and everything over here. Right. And then I'm actually importing the linear regression from Skillvertex module. Right? How you have to do that? You can simply go to the official module of Skillvertex. So you can simply go for linear regression Skillvertex. You can go and search on the internet, and here this is the Skillvertex. So you can simply go and import it from here. You can also see this is the code. How can you use that? Create a linear regression object, fit it with the X and Y. Right? You can also see that. So I have imported from there itself. Right? This particular thing, and this is the test and split. Right? If you have to know this better, I mean, again, you can join up for one of the classes, right? So this is the linear regression, and then here we are creating the model, and then simply we are training the model. So this is the intercept. Intercept is nothing but the W0 that I was talking about. Remember, in this formula we had, if you have three features, so there will be three coefficients and one intercept, which is W0. So W1, W2, W3, those W's, those weights with which our features was associated with them, right? W1x1 plus W2x2 plus W3x3, and then we had a W0, right? Disassociated with the features. So that we call intercept. and other values we call coefficients. So these are the coefficients for all the W's. These are the W's. This is the W1, W2, W3, W4. Since we have 5 features in this input, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we have 5 total coefficients and 1 intercept as a W0, and then we can make the prediction with the help of model itself directly. And then we can calculate almost different values like absolute error or the squared error or R2 score, anything. These are our predictions. This is my mean absolute error. This is my mean squared error. This is the R2 score. And you can also do this with the linear regression as well. I mean, this particular topics, this particular library can do everything like linear regression, multiple and polynomial regression, everything for you guys. Right. So this is what you can do. And you can also calculate with the help of that. Now, let me just make you the difference between linear regression, multiple linear regression. So here you can see I'm using one of the top feature, but here in this case, I'm using just a single feature. While using single feature, let me tell you how much score I'm getting. So mean absolute error is 20. R2 score is 78. Remember, R2 score is a value which is, 1 is the best, 0 is the worst, right? So 1 is the best. So it is as close to 1, it is the best. And absolute error, mean absolute error should be as least as it can. 0 is the best, and any higher value is, bad. So mean absolute error, if you see for the single linear regression, means only one feature is 20, and mean absolute error in this case is 12, which is far less. I mean, just equivalent to half of it. Similarly, R2 score has a multiple linear regression for R2 score. R2 score for multiple linear regression using 5 features, we have 0.89, and this here we have 0.78. Again, it is much better than that. Mean squared error is again very large, right? And here, if you see, it is very just half of that, right? So this is what we actually doing in here, right? So this is how you can simply implement it. I know that this is a just lack of timing, and let me just go through the things very quickly. Right? Okay, so this is how you do it, and this is how you compare. So multiple linear regression means multiple features. Using multiple features, multiple relative features are much better than using just a single feature. And this is linear regression. If I go to the polynomial regression itself, so the polynomial regression has much more power to find out the values much better than the linear regression. So in our upcoming sessions, we'll be actually going through the polynomial regression itself, right? So in our upcoming session, we'll understand what is the polynomial regression, how can we go through with that, right? So this is a basic linear regression. If you want, I can also share you this code as well. You can just simply go through with that, but I'll also have to share the data with you guys as well. And if you have to learn how to import, how to write the code, how to get the data, how to read the data, how to create the data sets, and how to pre-process them to make the machine learning model. So that is everything that we are going to cover in our master class. Again, if you have any question regarding the maths that we have identified here, regarding the theory of linear regression or multiple linear regression, maths and theory, or even in the coding, I'm here to help you guys. So that is it. Now you might have just understood the linear regression we had already gone through in our previous webinars. This was for the multiple linear regression, quite a small topic. That's why we took a less time in here. So that's it, guys. If you have any question regarding this, you can simply ask us, or Ruchir will explain you about your masterclass that we are going to have in a couple of months. Any question from anybody? Anuja, if you can turn your camera off. I guess people who don't have any questions, then you can take ahead, Ruchir.
Yeah, sure. I hope you guys had a great time learning multiple linear regression. So I saw there are multiple queries regarding the course and sessions. So So we are going to conduct multiple sessions like this, like masterclass will be there. Akash will
And
be
one more
guiding
thing,
you. Yeah,
just
sure.
if you yeah, so sorry for interruptions,
Yeah,
Richard. So
yeah.
one question, like if you guys have any technical questions for me, I will be happy to answer queries. Otherwise, I'll have to leave this. I have another class, to start with. So you can quickly ask any technical question related to the maths and the coding here. So I'll be happy to answer queries. You can go ahead, Richard.
Yeah. So I guess there are no queries as of now. Okay, Akash, thank you for this wonderful session. Now, as you already have another class scheduled, you can take a leave if you want.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Akash, before you leave, there is one query from
I think that is
Aditi.
for she's asking when the class starts. I think she's
No,
talking master class.
Aditi is talking about do we need to use R language?
Okay, I think this is personal question. Okay. Our
Okay.
language is not mandatory. I mean, this is one of the languages that you can use for learning data science, but it's data science and machine learning, but it's not mandatory. I mean, Python is far superior than that. Python is widely used in the industry. So I don't think any specific use case of ours that our language that Python cannot do. So there is nothing like that. And Python is widely accepted in the industry. So there will not be anything that you will see for Python, but you will not see for R. I mean, so Python is way ahead than R. Then we are covering everything in Python itself. Is there any use of SAS in data science? Yeah, I mean SAS, you can use SAS, you can put your data science services on the SAS systems itself. So you can actually create SAS services with the help of data science, with the help of machine learning. So that is what this is one of the very I would say exciting field of data science and machine learning. You can create and you can learn the power of data science and machine learning, and you can create your SAS services with the help of this. This is very exciting things, and this is what exactly we are going to actually see one of the very important things in our masterclass that we'll be having in a couple of months.
Thank you, Akash. So let's not keep you occupied as you have another class. So you can.
All right, guys. Thank
take
you.
a
I'm just
leave.
leaving.
Yeah.
Ruchir will explain you about the whole things
Sure.
about the masterclass. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you again in the next webinar.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I got multiple questions regarding the program. So at Skillvertex, in association with IIT Roorkee, we have started the executive certification program in data science in collaboration with iHub Divya Sampark of IIT Roorkee. You can fill out these basic details of your name, number, and email, and you can download the detailed brochure if you want to check out all the details. And also, once you fill up all the data, our counselor will connect with you to solve your queries. If you have any other queries, I will take you through the program which you all are excited for. So this executive course in data science, it is designed in such a way that you actually learn about data science from industry experts themselves, so that you have that practical exposure. you you have that edge over the others by learning from industry experts themselves. They know what is demand for the industry, what is current trend, and they can guide you with their experience and their knowledge. So it would be really wholesome course to start your career in data science. So you are going to have more than 40 hours of live sessions and doubt clearing sessions, right? We are going to also provide you the placement assistance and mock interview. So this certificate is not only your certification for your data science, because it is with in association with IIT Roorkee, so it is going to add some value in your resume also. So we are going to give you the placement support. So many hiring partners we have, and you can give interviews, and you can actually start a career in data science with this certification. So this is how this certification look like. So we all want that IIT badge in our resume, right? So from here you can download the detailed brochure about the program. Brochure contains all the details regarding regarding the program. I am just giving you the brief because due to lack of time. But if you have any question, you can ask me regarding that. Right. So what you can become after this certification. So you can become a data scientist, you can work as a data analyst, data engineer, business analyst, research scientist, right? So there are multiple avenues will be open, and you will be industry ready by the end of 4 months course. So once you complete the course, you get the certificate. Now you will be a different skilled person in the market, right? With all that data analysis knowledge and data science knowledge, right? So these are the companies who are currently looking for the data science professionals. So any one of can any one of you can join this big MNCs, right? That is not such a big deal. If you are passionate enough, you are putting that effort in learning, you can become a good data scientist, right? So here we have divided the course into the different modules. Here you can see different modules like introduction to data science, what all things are included, SQL, Python, machine learning, deep learning, right? So you will learn each and every aspect of data science, whatever the trends in the market, machine learning, AI, natural language processing, right? Deep learning. So you are going to get a wholesome idea overview about the process, right? So this is it, guys. If you have any questions about the program, you can ask me. You can just fill in the data. Our counselor will help you with all your queries, right? So our counselor will connect with you and help you with all your queries. I know what you might have queries regarding the fee, right? Hello. So connect with our counselor, and as you have also joined this webinar, you are going to get discount also. So just fill in the details, just apply. Our counselor will get back to you, and he's going to give you all the details or into brief, wholesome detailed about the executive certification program in data science, and you can ask him all your queries. I am not going to talk about the fees because it varies person to person. Because those who haven't, yeah, sure. I will share the link in the chat. Just visit the link, and yeah, you can just visit the link, and you can explore more about it, right? So just fill in the info. Our counselor will give you all the details, all the necessary details. Just tell him that you have attended the webinar, right? You will get a good amount of discount. Is there any other queries, guys? So I don't see any queries coming in. So that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the session. Preeti, can you hear me now? Do we have any queries, Preeti? Surat, can you please type in the chat? This program is for anyone who want to pursue their career in data science, right? So this is a certification course in data science in which you are going to learn each and every aspect of data science, and your career path towards the data science. Sorry, guys, there is some internet issue. Yes, so Suraj, it is a paid paid course. Just fill in the details in the website, and our counselor will solve all of your queries. All right. It is a paid course, Suraj. Yes, but we are conducting master class.